San Francisco, right out there. Look at that. Big city streets. Likes it, huh? This is Frank from San Francisco Moto. He just took me on a thrilling first ride on the FXS ZERO electric motorcycle, man.
Yes, indeed. One's been electrified.
That's right. I have seen the force. If you want to ride like the wind, this is literally riding like the wind. You crack that throttle and it's just you and the wind, and the acceleration on these things is phenomenal. So I'll give you a little more review of the specs and all the points of interest on this machine here. The ZERO FXS, the super motard, the sport model, the smallest, lightest, most inexpensive, and probably one of the quickest. Would you say the quickest one, Frank, or maybe the sport models?
I've got to tell you the truth. I've ridden all of them. They're all amazingly fast, amazingly smooth. This has got to be the most agile bike.
Yeah, because it's the smallest. It's 300 and so pounds.
At soaking wet, I would say. Yeah.
And the FX, the straight FX model, is the one, the kind of dual sport looking model with the spoke tires. So this is the super motard versus the spoke wheel version, which I would be interested up in my neck of the woods. So let's get you some more specs on this. Say hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. Don't get it.
That's good. We got Nancy here, the expert on ZERO motorcycles at San Francisco Moto, and the brochure sheet. And between the two of us, between this and Nancy, we can figure out all the points of interest on this machine. First off, we got 2 lithium-ion batteries here, right? So that makes this the FXS 6.5, correct?
6.5.
All right, and you can run it with one battery, making it the 3.3, and saving you, that's all right, saving you about, what, 45 pounds?
That's right.
On each battery, all right? So the range on this model, according to the book, city of 90 miles, highway at 70 miles an hour, 37 miles, combined about 52 miles, and that's, you know, that's per the book. Max torque, a whopping 70 foot-pounds, or 44 horsepower, with a top speed of 82 miles an hour. And this is the cool part. The acceleration, it's verifiably true. 3.8 seconds to 60 miles an hour. You just twist that throttle, and you are there amazingly quick.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that's in the sport mode. 3 different modes of travel on this thing. So here's your mode selector switch. You got.
So you've got sport mode, which is full out, full on power all the time. You've got eco mode, which will have the same top speed. It'll just get there more efficiently. And then you have the custom mode, which will allow you to limit your eco mode if you need to be really conservative with your power. It'll also let you do things like turn off the regenerative braking, so that you don't feel like this sensation of engine braking. To compare it to a gas-powered bike.
And here, speaking of gas power comparison, what I found is in the eco mode, the bike handles like a mellow 4-stroke machine. In sport mode, to me, it felt just like a 2-stroke motorcycle, man. It was right there. The one difference with electrics is there is maybe a quarter to a half-second delay from the time you crack that throttle open and that power hits. Just a slight delay that you may not notice in a fuel-injected gas bike. But man, that power is there, and it is there quick.
It is.
So
you've got all that torque right there.
Like an electric.
There's no waiting for your engine to wind up and be there in the sweet spot. I mean, it is right there, you know, in its wheelie poppin' action on this bike.
It is. It's very light and very fast. What would you say, 300 and something pounds?
About 300 pounds. If you take one battery out, you're about 40 to 45 pounds less. 45 pounds less, I believe.
And I was following Frank here on the gas bike, and all of a sudden it makes gas bikes feel so quaint. I mean, there's no stopping at the stoplight and fishing around for neutral and then putting the right foot down and clicking it into gear. I adapted to this really quick. I didn't reach for the clutch or the gear shifter once on this bike. If you just put it in your head that you're on an electric bike and there's your controller right there, you will adapt to it really fast.
I felt so old-fashioned.
Yeah, I can hear rattling around. It's like an old Model T, man. And this thing just goes. All you hear is the wind. Now, let's point out something else. Here's the, of course, these are all belt drive. Now with the dual sport model and the spoke wheels, I think you can get a chain drive because there may be a concern of popping it with a rock, but because the motor is mounted right here at the swing arm, this tension on that belt doesn't change. And even if you do need to change a belt, it's no big deal. Just pop the wheel and slide the new belt on.
And this particular model, you can definitely get a chain drive for. The DS model, the one with the much bigger battery, that one I'm not sure about.
Okay, yeah, when I say DS, I'm incorrectly speaking of the wrong model. Okay, so tell us about the charging port on this one. Where is the charging port located?
So the charging port on this one's actually up front. Let's pull the bike out a little bit.
Okay. Behind you. Clear.
Catch you by surprise.
So on this bike, we are in the street, so I might need to reposition.
Sure.
But on this bike, the charging
is it way
port
up here? Is this it right there?
That's right.
Okay, can I pull that?
Yep,
okay, so it's a standard computer style charging plug right there. Now on other models of the Zero motorcycles, there's 2 charging ports, and if you want to quick charge your motorcycle, you got to have 2 chargers plugged into 2 separate power sources of 110 volts. I believe this one only has the one single charging port. Now the charge time on these things is always a question. This one, according to the brochure, is claiming almost 9 hours to get 100% charged.
Now, the interesting thing about these batteries is the batteries themselves will charge up pretty quick, but when you get to about 80%, that last 20% takes the longest. So you can actually get a pretty decent charge if you're out trail riding. If you can only have an hour to plug it in for lunch and then you want to get out there and go ride again, you know, you can totally do that and still have plenty of
range within 1 hour.
Range.
Because these are lithium ion multiple cell batteries, and these chargers are all balance chargers, right? So they're balance charging the battery every time. Even if you do a quick charge, you're balance charging the battery, and as a result you're getting a very long battery life. And some of these numbers are incredible. They're saying upwards of look at it, 203,000 miles worth of battery life on these 2 batteries, and some of the other bikes are upwards of almost 300,000 miles.
Who's putting that many miles on their bike?
This thing is going to be worn out if I get a hold of it for that many miles. Now this big hole in the swing arm here is where you like to put your charging cord, is that? Or
That's just, right. You know, a charging cord will fit nicely in there, and it doesn't seem to fall out, at least in my experience.
And this, now, does this bike have regenerative braking?
It does.
Okay, all right.
Sure does.
Yeah.
It sure does.
We got stock Showa suspension, and of course all the lights and bells and ringers of a traditional motorcycle.
And it's also got anti-lock brakes. But what's awesome about these bikes is you can turn it off.
That's right.
Like it.
That's right. I didn't get into the analog brakes in this one. I didn't experience that. But and you got adjustable preload on the suspension and dampening capabilities also, just like any modern day machine. Now you've been dealing these Zero bikes since 2009, and these are manufactured right here in California in Santa Cruz, right?
They are. They are.
And what'd you say, the first Friday of each month? What happens there?
First Friday of each month, they have a time where you can actually sign up through Zero's website and go do a factory tour and some demo rides right out there in the Santa Cruz Mountains. It's beautiful roads to go riding on. And Zero, from time to time, like right now, they've actually been making these bikes for about 10 years. So they're having a 10-year anniversary savings program.
Cool.
So on this model, the FXS, you can get actually $650 back from Zero directly.
And what about state rebates?
Well, state rebates,
or is it federal?
There's a federal tax credit, and there's also a California Clean Air rebate. And I should actually rephrase what I said about the 10th anniversary savings. That's actually not money you get back from the purchase. That's just money Zero is going to give you.
Oh, well, off the price of the bike.
That's well, just not off the price of the bike. They're just going to send you a gift
card. Oh,
$650 on this model and $1,000 on the bigger bikes.
Wow. Okay. And the federal and state rebates adds up to what, about another grand?
So the state rebate is $900 back. The federal tax credit's about $1,100 on the bigger models. I think it's the same on this one. I have to double check, but it's a percentage, so it's probably actually a little less.
And how's that tax? Is that like a tax rebate? Something you do when you do your taxes?
That's
you get
right.
$1,000 off your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool. And just for fun, we're gonna turn this bike on so you can hear how quiet it is.
Now, go ahead.
I got the key here.
Mm-hmm.
When you turn the bike on, we got a really nice display here. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a red triangle flashing there. And the bike is on right now. It's not making any noise. This red triangle is really, really important because that means that the bike is not live. Okay? So when you want to make it live, you have to have your kill switch in the appropriate position. But you see that triangle still flashing, and that is because our kickstand is down.
Right.
So if I kick the kickstand up, this bike is live. You see that green arrow right there? Not making any noise.
So that means this is hot, so don't grab the throttle.
So if I twist it a little bit, listen to this.
That's it.
It's not making much noise there. Talk about being stealth. Let's not wake up the neighbors popping wheelies.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. But yeah, this bike is super, super fun. And if you like to be an aggressive off-road rider, you can do it with this bike. This bike is actually the Super Moto model. They make another one of these called the FX. It's the same exact bike. It's just got knobbier wheels and bigger full-size wheels on it.
Yeah, it's got the spoke wheels and rims on it, the straight FX. Well, that's Nancy from SF Moto and the exciting new electric motorcycles from Zero. I'm telling you, this is the future. You haters are going to hate, but electric bikes are coming. And for trail riding, I'm especially excited and thrilled to see them here. They've got all the performance you could ever want out of a two-wheel machine. Zero bikes named after zero emissions and zero maintenance.
And 100% fun.
Yes, they are.